Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 166 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden,
James Fitzgerald,
and Brian Jennette.
In this episode, we're diving into three very different gaming experiences, from collecting seashells in Sanibel to designing deadly dungeons in Stonespine Architects to solving mysteries in Sudds and Malone. So grab your dice, gather your game group, and let the cardboard adventure begin. Enjoy the show! Random question. If your personality were a board game, what game would it be and why? I love just popping up these random questions.
All right.
No prep time. Do it live.
Partially would be Canvas, because there's a little bit of organization and complete utter chaos in all of the imagery, which I think is probably a good balance.
That's fair.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a game where you just collect all kinds of random crap like a hoarder.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon.
A place for all my books.
I don't like books. Place for all my games. That's what my living room is.
Right. Oh, probably the GameCraft. Yeah, the GameCraft or Game Maker when it comes out would be you.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. But it has to be all kinds of random stuff. It's basically a set collection game. No, actually, if you know what it would be a perfect one, Vault Wars, because Vault Wars is like kind of like a Storage Wars thing where you're buying vaults of dead adventurers, right? And it's just funny because like I like to thrift shop and find treasures and things like that. And so like any game that has to deal with that kind of stuff.
Okay. I guess mine would have to be Telestrations, because you're taking things that are visual and then making them into English, and then you're taking things in English and making them visual. So with the sign language. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good answer.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
Telestrations.
What about you, James? What do you got?
First thing came to mind, Secret Hitler. I have a dark sense of humor. Everybody doesn't get it. I offend most people when I try to be funny. They don't realize I'm trying to be funny and I'm being stupid. And that game is stupid. It can be funny if you, I guess. It's been a while since I played it. But it's
trying to be funny,
obviously offensive to a lot of people. So
I thought you were going to say Cards Against Humanity at this point.
No, that game sucks. Yeah. But
Secret Hitler.
That's hilarious, actually.
And see, I've had to hold myself back on this podcast. That's why, because I don't want to offend people. Because I just say stuff to try to make people laugh, and that's what that game is all about. You're just trying to make people laugh. Oh, I guess Cards Against Humanity, same way. It's you say offensive nonsense and try to make people laugh, and you offend a lot of people. And that's usually me by accident. I don't mean to. I'm just trying to make people laugh.
It's just
what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that game that Tim told me about with the firearm.
What?
The what?
The Russian roulette game.
Oh my god! Yeah, what game? The World Championship Russian roulette doesn't have that one, but it's funny.
No, the idea where you're like, bam.
Yeah. Have you played that yet?
No, but you tell me about it.
Oh, it's so great.
I thought it was like cash and guns.
Man, you know what, man? I really am disappointed in myself. That should have been on my hidden gem games. Because that is a
Russian roulette.
No. World Championship Russian roulette. Have you never?
Yeah,
played
that is a fun game. It's fun. It is.
It is absurd in general. Basically,
you lose once.
You send a team of 5 guys, so you have 5 lives effectively.
Yeah,
and it's like a pressure luck game. So you like shuffle your little deck of cards, which is 6, right? Because there's 6 chambers, and you start off with 1 bang. But you can do things that will get more bangs into your deck. And then you're shuffling, everybody rolls a dice, and then you cover it up. And I actually kind of forget this part now, and I've played it 1,000 times, I guess, because I'm on the spot. But basically, you're trying to say, I'm bidding that I'm going to pull the trigger 4 times. And the more you pull it, the better it is, because the more points you get. Yeah. But if you accidentally say bang, but the whole point is, it says in the game, you're supposed to put your fingers against your head, and each time you flip a card, it's like, and click, and click. And so
it's a horrendous theme, but it's actually a really fun game.
Yeah.
But the game itself is good. Like what you are doing is really good. And there's this whole thing where you can say you can play cards. And so you might play cards and it says, point your gun at somebody else and then flip a card. So you're like, and then you flip it. It's like, bam. And then you can cheat and stuff. I mean, it's such a great game. So, well, anyway, on that dark note, what's everybody been up to? Let's kind of go roundtable real quick. We don't have to go super deep, but let's talk about George, since he went to a convention randomly, or not randomly, recently.
Just stumbled upon it.
Yeah, I was just walking around,
just walking to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to St. Paul and the St. Paul DEF CON, and this is one I go to every year. I love this one. It's a 5-day event because I always go a little early and friends show up a little early. Although next year we're extending it. We're going to make it officially a 4-day event, and the 5th day there'll just be 1 day of extra, I guess. But it's just a gathering of deaf gamers, and we have a big tournament for different games. This year it was Crokinole and what was the other game? I'm trying to think what it was now. I can't remember. I don't participate in the tournaments very often. I teach a lot, but anyway, it's just a bunch of friends getting together and playing a bunch of board games, and we have a big raffle. A lot of games companies donate to our raffle. Huge thanks to everyone. If we can, I have a picture of all the donators. Maybe we could post it somewhere. Yeah, it was a great event. Had a wonderful time.
That's cool. I think I've asked you this in the past. If you were to teach a game to us, as opposed, or equal gamers that are deaf, like, is it lengthened by the fact that you have to do sign language?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
well,
I don't think so.
It's like such a.
I think
it was
a
a longer
bit,
answer. No.
I will say this. It's probably lengthened by the fact that more of the deaf gamers are newer to gaming, and like with you guys, I can use a shorthand to be like, okay, it's a worker placement, and like you instantly know
a lot of rules.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little lengthened just by the fact that there are going to be more gamers who may not be as familiar. But then there's a core group of gamers that are just as familiar as we are. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's neat. Anything else that you want to talk about? Like,
I could talk about where I am right now.
Sure.
And yeah, so after leaving Minnesota, I flew to Ireland. I'm going to see my family. I'm seeing some friends here first. And I have a beach when I'm in Dublin, where I am now. I have a beach that I always go to. It's called the Skerries. It's about an hour bus ride. And
why would you go to something called the Skerries? There's a bunch of axe murderers running around on the beach in bikinis.
That's lovely. It's actually lovely. and I go there every time I'm in Dublin that I can, just because I like the beach so much, and I honestly don't like Dublin. It's just a big city, and I don't like it. I like to get out into the fresh air. And this year, I found a board game store in the Skerries, brand new board game cafe. It's called Otter Space, which is perfect because that's like my favorite animal as well. And
Space?
Really, Otter Space.
Otters, yeah. I know.
Yeah. And
anyway.
The people that run the board game store, they have camps and after school clubs and things for youth, and also for autistic and neurodivergent kids. So I mean, they're awesome. They're awesome.
That's cool.
And yeah, and
Did
I went in there.
good?
Well, it was it doesn't have as much product, right, as a lot of U.S. stores would, and partially because they're just getting started. But I did find something that you can't get in the U.S. Quiz Whiz. So this is a game that is a cooperative trivia game, and everyone gets cards that are different countries, and then you'll get a question card like drinks more tea than coffee, right? And you have to put down
England.
which
India.
I would imagine, yeah. And you put down the cards that you think match, right? And then there's like a master list or whatever, so you can figure it out, whether you're right or not. But it's just it was a great find. So I was happy to find
cool.
that. Yeah. And I sent myself a bunch of games that you can't get in the US. I sent them to my friend Alvine, who's here in Dublin. He's very kind to collect them for me. So I sent them over from France and Germany, and now I'm going to bring back a stack of games that I otherwise wouldn't be able to grab. And for example, this is one, I don't know when I'm going to play this, but I can't wait to play it. It's called Haunties, which is haunted, I guess. I'm guessing. And it sounds hilarious. What you do is you get a group and you play it in a house with the lights out, right? And you have you start in a room, and then certain people are going to be haunts. They're going to go off, and they have cards that tell them what to do. Like then you just explore the house, and you might come into a room, and there's somebody sitting in the room, and remember, you're all in the dark, right? And they're like, "Take a seat, sit down," in some like haunted voice, and oh, this is a haunted person. And then you have to decide what you're going to do. Like, are you going to sit down?
I'm confused. Do you go around your actual house in the dark?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just find a real person that's saying, sit down.
That's doing a creepy shit. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's doing creepy stuff. Right. And then you decide, are you gonna do what they say? Or are you gonna like
so one person's like a dungeon master type of deal who's doing this?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, like the narrator, like the person running the game. Okay, because I was gonna say you just open this box and all of a sudden there's ghosts in your house.
It's intro to LARPing. Let's go.
Basically.
Yeah, it is kind of LARPing. And your decision in that moment as to how you respond to that person, either you did the wrong thing and then you turn into what they are. And now there's two people sitting there. And when someone comes in the room, they're both like, sit down. Or you free their spirit and now they're, they get to come back and explore the house with you. And you see, like, do you end up all turning into spirits or do you end up freeing everybody? It sounds amazing.
There has to be more to this.
Yeah, I haven't really read all through it because it's
sounds
in
like
French.
something I can make up.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. By the way, there is a kids game called Otter Space that I sent you a link. I sent you an image of.
It's like the box.
What?
The box is like a rocket ship, and it has an otter coming out of a little viewport.
It's adorable. That's for sure. And the note on there is for you.
I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a look. I speaking of otters, I sent myself an otter game.
Otter World.
This one is from Germany, and it is a set collection, like run around and get stones because you're otters, right? So I can't wait.
And they'll keep a stone for their entire life, like their favorite pebble, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
Penguins also do similar things. Well, they'll use them and give them to their mates and stuff.
So otters
trinkets
keep their murder ones.
They can. Well, they use it to also break open clams and stuff. So they use it as a tool, which is really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, while you're over there, I sent you a link to a game. I want to see if you can actually even find. There's no U.S. distribution for it ever.
All right, here, let me check. I'm not going to say it just in case.
Yeah, no need.
We are doing a podcast. Anyway, moving on. George, what else did you want to talk about?
I'm good. No, that's all. It's
like we're playing like Deception or something. Like, all right, pass that note under the table, guys. All right, cool. Well, anyway, George, you good? Do you want to add anything else on to what you've been up to?
Yeah, no, that's a lot for me to be up to. I'm having a great time here in Ireland. So
fair enough. All right, James, let's do you next. We'll round table it as far as my screen goes.
I'm just trying to get over Concrud right now. I'm almost over it from Origins. I haven't really got to play much. Our group played Moon Colony Bloodbath, which is always a good time. We actually, I don't know if you have to make it to the 13th event to end the game, and we made it to the 12th, and somebody died before we're about to get it to where you get the last one. And actually, well, obviously the game you don't win anyway. You have to still have the most people, but that's the furthest I've ever been on that game. We got because they got cards. Two of them played cards that allow you to flip over the next event without the main deck event saying, flip it over. So that's how we got that far. But unfortunately, those cards were punishing because they added other cards that were really bad. Well, that's the name of the game. It's all punishing. And but it was a really good time. And I'm trying to remember what else we played. We played Harmonies. I keep wanting to say Horizon. But Harmonies which is a good abstract game. They try to put a theme on it, but it's a really good game. And that's pretty much it.
On the way.
Yeah, I know. I heard. And usually Crystal gets the brunt of it, my wife, because when I get home, I give the con crud to her, and she's still she's hacking and coughing up there still. So that's pretty much the first half of the year is pretty much anything. It seems like because we've been working on the house and everything. So I'm hoping second half of the year we start playing more. Now we should have more free time and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been sorting all my Origin games and 3D printing inserts for them. That's mainly what I do when I get all these games, and that's pretty much my whole life right now. Besides work and working on the house, I'm pretty boring right now.
Nah. Well, as far as what we're talking about on the podcast, but we have so much things going on in life, right?
Yeah.
But we try not to get super personal. But Brian, what you been up to? At least since the last episode.
So since the last episode, I have been playing Fliptoons 2, which will be available at Gen Con. Really good game. My Dirtlets Gaming channel on IG just did our 1 year Instaversary. So I'm actually running 2 giveaways, one for Citizens of the Spark, and then one for Fliptoons 1 with the Big Button expansion and it was sponsored by Thunderworks. We've played, I finally got around to playing Rococo, the deluxe edition that's been on our shelf for like a year. Probably played it. It's way easier and way lighter than I thought it was, but it's really enjoyable. So played that, played the games. Some of the games we're going to be talking about today, and also prepping for Gen Con. So there's a lot of stuff coming up for that, so that'll be fun. And then I've got some photography work that is coming down the pipeline that I'm pretty excited about. So
have you tried Le Patissier Rococo? I can never pronounce that stupid word. It's the second Rococo, but it's baked goods instead of
I have
dresses.
not played that.
It's really good. I played it at LexCon. Actually own it now, but somewhere around here.
Yeah.
But
we also have the Pret-a-Porter game that I have to learn. And then next week, I'm finally going to, Tim will be happy, I'm finally going to break down and learn how to play Trismegistus.
Yes.
The second edition. And then I think and then coming up on the 11th, I finally get to play Galactic Cruise. So that'd be fun. It's been a little bit.
Wait, we're trying to do that on the 11th?
That's the game plan.
Let's revise that because
dun dun dun. Tim's got stuff coming on. Hey.
This episode will probably be released a few days before that, but I will be at CharCon. I totally did not put this on my calendar.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll be at CharCon Gaming Convention. And also I scheduled a cutover for my job. So totally, this is what happens when you don't put stuff on your calendar. You start putting other things on there. It's like, I've got this whole migration that I'm going to do, which isn't that bad. It's like 25 minutes worth of work, but it's just, I got to wake up early at a convention to do a job. So,
oh, funny. Where's that at? Actually, I'm not familiar with that one.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, interesting.
That's why it's CharCon. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's not Charmander.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon convention.
But anyway, what I've been up to since the last episode is I played a few games. I mean, I won't go over the ones I've talked about before, but we played a few new ones that's really cool. One is Great Western Trail El Paso, which probably would have made it on this episode had I not waited and try to get either George or Brian or both to try it out, because I know James has played it. Yes. That game is it's really good. Like there's a couple of things I don't like about it. One, I'm sorry, fabric boards. No, no, this is the dumb. It's not even a neoprene mat. It's like you printed it on a shirt. I don't know. Like it's so stupid. It is the dumbest thing ever. I will make fun of it.
How wrinkled was it?
I don't care. It actually wasn't that bad, which is ironic because I asked ChatGPT, what did people praising about this? And one of the things it says is that it doesn't wrinkle. And I'm like, I'm staring at it right now and it's wrinkly. What are you talking about? You know? So people, I think, get online and they're talking on Reddit and they're saying things because they think, you know, oh, my copy came non-wrinkly, so everybody should. No, look, first off, I get it. This is one of those green initiative games where everything comes in paper instead of plastic, yada, yada, whatever. That's fine. If you like that, that's cool. I applaud them if they don't want to leave a carbon footprint. But boards, I can't imagine are any different. You have boards in the game with tokens. Like, why? There's no difference. It's not like you're like the pieces are plastic, you know, and like the boards are traditionally plastic, so you're replacing it with cloth. Like it feels like a chintzy thing. Like I feel like I just bought like a Chinese checkers that rolls up in a tube. You know what I mean? I feel almost insulted by the level of quality that the board is in general. It is stupid.
But the Yellow House has that same kind of thing.
Also,
but
the game
it
is
actually
really good.
fits.
Do what?
The Yellow House has that fabric board, but it's more of a tracker. But it actually works with that theme and stuff to me because it's like a painter's theme and it's got that fabric.
Right.
There are some games that work with it. Like the Eternal Decks has a nice fabric board as well. It's not fabric's not always bad. Yeah. No. But if it doesn't fit the game, it wouldn't be good.
It doesn't fit the game.
Here's one that's interesting is I just did a review of Grunts with the expansion and everything. That box is literally what? A 4x4 box. The entire mat is like 12-inch by 12-inch that folds up into it. So when I took it out, it was all like, it had fold patterns in it. And I'm like,
yeah, if you're going to include some sort of fabric.
Yeah, high level quality of everything else, magnetic tokens and stuff. It's brilliant, fun game.
Yeah.
But I had to steam it to make it flat. But then I was like, oh, that's going to be cool until I put it back in the box. Now it's going to do the same thing again. There's no other option they could have done unless they did a bigger box.
Yeah.
My favorite
that's what I was going to say. Would you have wanted a bigger box?
I wouldn't have minded it. It's small, man. That box
is an all-play box.
Yeah, it's an all-play box.
A little cube box.
I think if you're going to include a neoprene mat or a fabric mat, you should include enough space to roll it up. Because folding it actually damages it pretty heavily. And depending on the printing process can cause cracking and stuff because of your folds. So I think it's stupid to fold these things and it's nasty looking. There's no table presence. I'm sorry. If I fold out some thing, like maybe if it was like an ancient treasure map and that was the board and it was very thematic, like George was saying, that's one thing. El Paso does not have that. But my favorite comment was, I didn't know, I never wanted to get to the point where I had to add ironing to my hobby. Which you do, but anyway, so El Paso is a really good game though, like despite the component issues. We'll talk more about it later on. Another game that is really good, and oh my gosh, I want this game, is Arigato. Have you played this? This thing is phenomenal. I mean, it's like a little card game. And you have like these 4 spaces in front of you, like in your town that you're trying to put a card in. So you get a hand of cards and you're going to put one in one of those 4 spaces. You're going to pass 2 to the player, like to your left or whatever. And then you're going to put 2 that you discard for the resources. That right there sounds, it blows your mind. You're like, well, if I do this, then oh my gosh, I don't even know what's happening. Because the guy you put in your town might say, well, the discarded cards that you get resources from, if they're a specific type of card, you also get resources of their color in addition, or this thing in addition to the resource of their color. Or maybe it's like, if you pass this to the left and in it has these goals that you play through across, I think the game is 12 rounds. And like round 2 to 11 have a goal. And it might say like, have some guys in your castle or have so many guys with offerings. So like you use these resources to put an offering on a dude and then you can put the dude in the castle. But you may not want to put them in the castle because that's where they score points. You may not want to put them there first because you might have a goal coming up that says you need to have like 3 guys with the offering in your town. And that's 4 cards. And it's like, the crazy like planning and stuff that you have to do for this simple card game. This is great. Love that game.
Sounds really good. Is it a 2-player game?
No, it's like 5 players. It works really good as 2 players, but it is I think up to 5.
Did you play that in real life or on BGA?
No, I played on BGA only because I don't think it's released. I don't think it has released or something, but I don't know.
There you go, George.
Jennette, how do you spell that, by the way?
It's Arigato. And the last game I played is Rainforest. If you're a fan of games like Cascadia, this is one you should check this out because have you played Rainforest or were you saying yes to Cascadia?
Cascadia.
Oh, fair enough. So in this, there's these tiles that come out and it just looks like a bunch of rainforest leaves or whatever, but they're different colors. So there's like yellow, blue, red, green, and purple. And they have like spots on them that you could put these little animal tokens on. And the animal tokens are also red, blue, green, yellow, purple, but also a different animal. Well, I say animal, but it's like insects and animals, stuff in the rainforest, like butterflies or parrots and things, frogs. And so what you're doing is it very much like Cascadia, where you have a tile like 4 tiles laid out or 5, I can't remember. And below each one, you have so many of these little animal tokens. And so when you pick a tile, you also pick the tokens below it. The difference is this has multiple tokens below it, and you can either take all of a color of tokens or all of like butterflies, for instance, all of a type of animal. So you might take
dual Cascadia.
Right. And in front of you, you're trying to complete these tiles, and you can only have 3 at a time. And then when you build them, you're going to build them in a 3x3 grid, but you have to build them in an order of like the bottom row, 1, 2, 3, left to right, then the second row of left to right, and the top row of left to right. And there's these little challenge token type things where it's like, if you build 4 contiguous blues, you get to take that token and place it on one of those blues, and it doubles the points. Very, very good game. I liked it a lot. Like that. It's a really fun game. It's very Cascadia. Yeah. And
I just looked it up, and from an artistic standpoint, I do like everything is oversaturated, very bold colors. I don't know if it's the same one. It's very vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very easy to tell the difference on the cards, which is nice.
Yeah.
Carrots.
Yeah. The Rainforest game is really good. So
nice.
That's what I've been up to, other than there was something else I was going to say. Oh, not gaming or board gaming related, but I played Adventures of Elliot. This is a video game that is using the same engine as Octopath Traveler. It's like this 2D, 3D, hyper 2D, 3D, like graphics engine. It's really cool looking. If you like old school Zelda games or old school Final Fantasy games, like that pixel art, but you want something modern. Anyway, it's like, it plays like Zelda where you're running around hack and slash and stuff like that, and you're going through different moments in time. Anyway, I only downloaded the demo, and the reason I'm bringing this up, I downloaded the demo and literally put 5 hours into it, into a demo. And it's not 5 hours of me trying to squeeze everything out of it. Like, I was doing progression, like doing side quests or doing things. That is a crazy demo. 5 hours when the game is 30-ish hours alone. So
wow,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was awesome. I recommend anyone, if you want if you want to play a game that's pixelated style, like top down, sprites are running around in a 3D environment that plays like a Link to the Past or old school Legend of Zelda games, this thing is tremendous and fun. So that's The Adventures of Elliot.
I approve of this message.
Yeah. Now Brian has some news. Boop-a-doo. I don't know. Yeah, I need a sound bit for this that I can plug in over top of
that. Actually would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what news. Oh, so anyway, the only news I would probably talk about is with Fliptoons 2, it will be available at Gen Con, which is, I'm sure a lot of people are pretty excited about that game. Yeah, it's definitely really fun. It adds some pretty new mechanics. One of the ones I thought that was interesting is called Return. So you play a card and you take the bottom card of your draw deck, you take it and you dismiss it, then you draw the next one off of the actual market deck and put it on top of your deck, and then you play that card as your next card. Sometimes you can get some crazy combos, and you can combine both the original and the new one together.
Like 100%, like just shuffle it.
Shuffle the entire thing together, and then the market, you add a 3 at the end and a 15 at the end, and the market becomes 7.
That's awesome.
And you can play up to 8 people that way.
You play up to 8 people with that, yes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty rad. And also at Gen Con, Hell of a Deal will be available. There will be about 300 copies of it available for retail and for purchase for those that are interested. And I had a little discussion with Kurt about that game, about the original origins of the art style and how it's evolved over time.
We should also mention this is a Smirk and Dagger game.
Just
yes. Throw that out there.
Sorry, my bad.
Hell of a Deal by Smirk and Dagger. And Fliptoons 2 is obviously Thunderworks games. Keep going.
Yeah. And then Hell of a Deal is a first-time designer, which is interesting. And one of the original, when they did an original concept, Kurt from Smirk and Dagger was basically, this is awesome. Like, it plays really well.
It looks awesome.
The art style originally had demons, engravings, very dark scripture style artwork, very dark. And he was like, I probably want to sell this game. So how about, and then he found an artist that takes Pokemon characters and does them in 1920s style artwork. And then there's another show called Has Been Hotel that's on Netflix. And he basically told the artist, take Has Been Hotel and Pokemon from 1920s era kind of art, mash them together, and then come back. And that is why it looks the way it does.
Like Cuphead kind of art.
Very much like that with a little bit of a darker theme. Yeah. Dude, it is gonna do so well for them. And Tim, when does this podcast actually go live? You said
like the 10th.
Probably around that time or shortly afterwards. Smirk and Dagger's website will be completely redone as well. Whole new experience. So definitely check it out.
Sweet. Yeah, Hell of a Deal looks really cool. And from what he showed me, because, if you like Balatro, and I think we talked about this maybe on the 2 podcasts ago, but it's basically cooperative Balatro against the devil. And the concept is awesome. There's not a lot of co-op games that really just immediately draw me in, but you said Balatro and the fact that you're actually fighting, competing against the devil who actually cheats. It was just it's such a cool theme in what you're doing. Plus the presentation is wild. He doesn't want to do any kind of regular version and a deluxe version. You buy the game, you're getting everything, like the poker chips and the felt mats and all that stuff. And
they're weighted. They're good chips.
They're heavy.
Yeah, everything is great. It's such a good looking game. And I can't comment on how it plays because I haven't played it yet, but I will say that I'm very excited by it. Speaking of the art with Smirk and Dagger, I had this conversation once with Kurt about the Night Cage and how a simple change made it from being cheesy. So for me, when I look at any black and white art, I immediately kind of go, meh, right? So there's a lot of black and white. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's enough black and white drawn game art, cave. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a
castle game. It's like that too.
Yeah, they are.
We're gonna say Cave Evil.
Yeah, Cave Evil. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Right. Brian, you might want to look that game up. That's really cool looking. I mean, the art is cool, but what I'm saying is,
it's intense art. Yeah.
It's intense art. The art is wild. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's like death metal album art.
Yeah, hardcore.
And so it's really cool, but the black and white just makes it seem cheesy to me because there's no color. And what they did with the Night Cage is they took the white and just changed it to yellows. Mm-hmm. And it really did change the atmosphere of the game because it gives this warmth to it, but it's a bad warmth, right? So it's like an evil or dark warmth because it's torchlight type of deal. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just changing the yellow. And he actually was like, yes, I agree. We did that on purpose type of deal. So
yeah, which is really rad.
Oh yeah, the Night Cage has really cool art. Cave Evil though has some really, really crazy.
It actually looks a lot like a comic that was many years ago called Faust. Very adult, but very similar type artwork. And then I think the Castle game
without
is the opposite. I think the Castle game is almost inversed, where it's white with black art, where the Cave Evil is more black with white art.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So it was really cool looking.
All right. Well, anyway, we're going to move on to the 3 games that we have planned to talk about in this podcast in depth. We have Sanibel, Stonespine Architects, and Sudds and Malone. So first up, we're going to talk about Sanibel. Sanibel is published by Avalon Hill and Hasbro. It's designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, and it is a 2 to 4 player game that takes about 45 minutes. And in Sanibel, you will... Is my screen sharing? Sorry.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
All right, cool. It didn't put the red line. Anyway, in Sanibel, you are going to be walking down a shoreline to a lighthouse and then back. And as you're doing this, you're going to be collecting seashells to put in your bag. The bag is basically a board that looks like graph paper, but the graph paper is geometric shapes like hexagons and diamonds and triangles, right? So you don't really need to know how it looks to understand what you're doing to the game, but basically you're getting seashell tokens of those shapes. You're going to be dropping them in the bag from the top not literally, but idea wise, because it's like Tetris. When you drop a shell into your bag, it's going to go to the bottom, but you have to have a way to get the piece there. Can't just be blocked off and, just magically appear below pieces. So there's a little bit of placement rules that restrict how you place them. But basically think Tetris rules, right? They just fall to the bottom. Anyway, you're trying to put them in different different groupings based on the color of the seashells. And the way the game works though, is as you are on your turn, you're going to move as far as you want down this this beach, and each different area has multiple spaces to land on, and you stop at any space that you want, and the space will tell you how many pieces you get to take from that area or section. And so if it says 3, you get to take 3 seashells. And the problem is, though, the person who gets to go next is whoever's the furthest behind. So you could go further ahead and grab what you want first to beat somebody else there. Maybe they're going for the same ones as you, but then they might be able to take multiple turns getting a bunch of stuff. So anyway, whoever's pawn is the furthest behind gets to take the next turn. They move, so on and so forth, until you get all the way to the end of the board. And that is going to be the lighthouse. And with the lighthouse, you start with these little zigzag tiles, and these zigzag tiles are like scoring opportunities at the end of the game, and they will fit in your bag, but they do different things. And if you can read whatever language, if you're watching the video, then you know what these do. If not, oh no, it is in English. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I can speak that language.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's fine. I looked at it real quick and I was like, I can't even read this. Well, anyway, when you reach the lighthouse, there's a space that you can place one of them, and there's only one space where you can place 2. So if you're building your bag the right way, you could get there quick and then play both of these out. Once you've done that, though, you're going to go back through the board, and you're going to do the bottom part next to the ocean and collect more seashells and get all the way back to the beginning, and then you're going to do scoring. And so the way scoring works is, depending on the seashells that you have on your board, they have different scoring mechanisms, right? So the purple ones, for instance, will score if they aren't touching each other. So you don't want them to be in groupings. You want them to be separated. But the other trick is, it's not just purple seashells. There are names to these seashells on the purple ones, and it says that you have to have unique ones. So even though there's a bunch of purple tiles out there to pick from, you want like this specific shell because you don't have it yet. And then like all of them do different things. We don't really get all through all of them, but like the blue ones, they want to be connected, but you have to have at least 2 of each kind before they start scoring. And, you know, like the orange ones, you want to have a big connected area of unique ones. And then the little seashells get points for the pairs that they're in and stuff. The only other thing I'll mention before we start talking about what we think is that there's this little wave, and if it's the last pawn in, you know, the furthest to the left, it moves to the next wave space and it brings out new seashells on the spaces. But other than that, yeah, it's just, you're moving back and forth, collecting seashells, putting them on this grid, and they're getting points at the end. So, James, you actually had this on your Origins list of games that our Origins anticipated list for last year.
Correct.
So we're gonna start with you. What do you think about this one?
I actually bought it because I used to live in Fort Myers a long time ago, galaxy far, far away, and so, which is right next, if you don't know, Fort Myers is right next to Sanibel. So I grew up going to Sanibel. So that's the main reason I bought it. And it actually, I didn't have high hopes for it, but it was a pleasant surprise because it's not that bad of a game. Usually when I was just thinking when you were saying that, like when that wave token reaches you, that's usually a bad thing in games. But this is actually a good thing because it's pulling out more shells, more opportunities. If you're missing a shell, it might pop out of the bag here. And that happens like probably about 4 or 5 times. I can't remember during the game. It happens
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually not a bad little game. I brought it to my game group a few months back, and everybody liked it. They all call it the seashell game. I think we played it twice in a row, and it's just, it's not.
It has a name, James.
Yeah,
bring the seashell game.
Sanibel, yeah, and I didn't call it that, but it's one of those just fun little relaxing games if you just want to play something that's a filler. And like you said, it takes 45. I'm calling a 45-minute game filler, but it's not hard to teach.
It's definitely light in a gateway style thing.
Yeah.
And you know what I really like about it that makes it more in that realm of gateway as well is there is a little bit of you can't really mess up as much as you can in other games, because if people take the stuff that you want, new stuff comes out, and there's this little crab. So if you pick up shells, you can pick up a crab tile instead, and that just lets you pick up any tile anywhere, except for the place you're in, which you would, if that was the case, you would just pick that tile anyway. But the point is, it lets you, so it's a little bit of mitigation where it's like, I don't feel so like pressured with doing the puzzle aspect. For me personally, I don't think this scratches a good itch for this type of game, because I like heavier games. But I understand the audience for this is massive because it is a puzzly game, but it's not super deep. All the scoring mechanisms for the basic seashells, at first you think, oh man, this is going to be nuts, right? This mind bending, blah, blah, blah. No, it's really just get a bunch of stuff and mostly just get unique shells. And then the hard part are those lighthouse tokens, which is by far one of the coolest things of the game. I kind of wish you might, I mean, there's like 25 or something. I don't even know how many there are. There's a bunch of them and everybody just gets 2. And I actually wish you would have get I actually wish you would have get like 5. Like just pass those out, you know, because especially on a higher player count in a 2-player game, there's really no competition in this. You just do the opposite of what the other player's doing. And I mean, I guess if there's, you know, if you get really competitive, maybe you can stop them and take stuff they really need. But like the weird thing is nothing really gives, they can't find that one tile that's going to give them 15 points. Like everything in the game is a point, right? It's just a point in a different way. So it's like, it's really hard to hate draft in this and really screw somebody else up unless for some reason you know exactly what scoring lighthouse tiles they're going with, but all the lighthouse tiles are like 5 points-ish anyway.
Right.
So
and you know how you were talking about the audience?
Yeah.
That was actually the intent. So Hargrave specifically stated, because we played it at Gen Con last year, she specifically stated she wanted a game that was at a difficulty to where her dad, who is not a gamer, could play it. That was the actual intent of why the difficulty is where it is, kind of open for people, which I think is exactly where that game falls. It's you can teach it to anyone. It's also a theme that I'm not familiar. I don't know of any other game that kind of had that before with shells and this kind of theme, unless you guys may have seen thing over the years, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
You bring that up. I don't know of any other seashell collecting games.
Yeah, because that was actually when I did the review. I thought it was really cool because the artist had this like really cool watercolor style with the tiles, and it's this coastal theme, but very unique theme. Oddly enough, in this day and age, it's hard to find a theme that not has been done 85 times, but this one, I kind of do wish though there was either a secondary like objective set that could give a little bit more challenge to seasoned players, or there was a secondary difficulty where you could amp it up.
Right.
That was really my only critique. The other critique I had was I kind of wish the boards were dual layered so that everything fit exactly in. But outside of that, I thought it was a brilliant game for what it is in a theme that is surprisingly unique.
What I think of it as like a lunchtime game. Like if you're just relaxing, sometimes we'll go out on the deck and eat lunch, and usually we play Can't Stop. But I mean, this could be easily one of those ones just put on the table and play relaxing game. I mean, the player aids are pretty good too.
The player aids are really cool.
Yeah, they explain all how everything scores, and it's for everybody gets one. It's not like the back of the rule book that everybody has to share. So yeah, that's a plus too. But
what do you got first, George? You haven't said anything.
Oh, I think that apparently her dad must be more patient than my mom, because 45 minutes is that's a bit long. Like, I get it. It's a family game. It's lightweight, whatever. But 45, that's longer than, than my mom wants to. Yeah. So that's not quite for me. And I like what it does. I like, the play of the game. And I like the fact that you get halfway and then you get to choose your, get those tiles, the lighthouse tiles that give you direction. And then on the way back, okay, now you know what you're doing. That's pretty cool. What I'm disappointed about is the art. Like, the seashells themselves, they look good, but then they're surrounded by a block of brown or a block of orange or a block of purple. And that's unattractive to me. Like, I don't understand that decision. It
does make it really easy to glance at your board and know, like, I have these, I get this purple, I get this whatever.
Yeah.
But because they're color coded, because otherwise, if you did like an outline, I might miss which one it is. Right. It is super simple. A non-gamer is going to look at it and go, oh, here's all the blue stuff. Here's all the green stuff. Here's all the yellow. Right. No confusion. Yeah. Zero.
They could have distressed the colors though, Brian. Like if they would have added a little bit of like even if it was, how you do the like the paintbrush thing over top of the same color and you have like the brush strokes and stuff.
Put some sand in there.
They could have, or a sand. Yeah. They could have put a little bit of stuff to it to make it
there is a light texturing in it, but it's not hard. It's not the separate the color. It's really light.
Yeah.
I find it unattractive. I think it's a missed opportunity there.
It's weird that they put little pawns. I mean, they couldn't have put little people. I don't know.
Meeple.
Pawns are like it's like the generic like sorry pawns from, or not really sorry, but like stuff from very long ago. Which I guess it kind of makes sense because it's Hasbro, Avalon Hill. You know, they kind of been around in the game for the longest or a long time. I wouldn't say the longest, but
actually, you bring up a good point. That might actually be a subliminal thing where, as in your head, you're like, those tokens remind me of the old games I used to play.
Yeah.
Not even thinking about it. It's a subliminal, like, oh, I feel comfortable now with this game because it has something that I'm familiar with.
Well, yeah, she designed it for, what was it, her grandpa? Is that what you said?
Her dad.
Her dad,
Her
yeah.
dad.
I was listening, I promise. But like,
supposedly her dad suggested the theme, I think is what it says.
I think
cool.
the theme is tremendous. I mean, just doing a quick search, there's really only 3 games about seashells, counting this one. There's another game called Seashells that came out that actually is coming out or has come out this year. And then Moonshell, which is fantasy themes with like mermaids and stuff. But other than that, there's really not any other seashell collecting games, or like games with seashells. Just ones that come the closest. Doggerland, which is shells are one of several natural resources you gather and craft with.
There's lots of games like that.
Yeah, there's lots of games that have shells. Yeah, tidal blades, right?
Yeah.
And then this other game that has seashells as currency. So like otherwise, like this is a great theme to use because it's just non-existent. And seashells, dude, it's such a great family weight theme too, because your kids and everybody likes collecting seashells. You cannot tell me that you've went to a beach and didn't think, oh, I'll keep that. Oh, I'll look at that. Oh, I'll keep that. So
I think we've all had a Pepsi bottle full of sand.
Oh yeah. Like sand and shells. No. I don't know what he's talking about.
I know what he's talking about, but I didn't.
Sorry, Coca-Cola bottle.
Well, people do collect and they put their sand from their vacations into a shot glass, or they put it into like a little bottle and they label it and stuff. But the point is, like everybody has collected seashells, and it's wild that it has taken till 2026 to have a dedicated seashell collecting board. Well done on the choice of theme for that. So, otherwise, I think it might be probably one of those games that I'll try with my kids. But otherwise, I think it might be too light on the puzzly aspect for me to keep around. But because I have kids, I probably will keep it around at least until they try it out and decide, I don't really care, or maybe they like it, So Agreed. Anyway, hold on, we're doing that now. We're going to rate it out of 10 BGG stat board game geek rating system. Let's start with Drew. George, what do you think?
I think it's solid. I give it a 6.5.
That's solid. Fair James, what about you? Rating and final thought.
I'd give it a 7.
7.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's worth keeping for me, just like I said, for the casual game. I don't think it takes 45 minutes, but I could be wrong. But
it might the first play, but if you play it with people that played it a few times, it will be a lot quicker than 45 minutes. Especially if you play it with
if it was lots quicker, if it was quicker than that, like I could raise my rating. I would hit a 7 with that.
Fair enough. What about you, Brian?
I would say it's not for me. It's a little too light, but I would say it's perfect for entry into the gaming, and around a 7. Solid game.
Yeah.
I'm just not the target audience for it because it is a little lighter than the stuff I play.
I won't get all weird with really, if I was to look at Board Game Geek, I would expect this game to be like a 6.8, but I'm going to go in halves at this point, and I'm going to round up and say a 7 as well. I think that it is good. It's great. It's a very accessible gateway game. And for families, especially, I would not be scared off by the 45-minute time limit or the time suggestion on the box. I do think that if you play for families, they're probably going to repeatedly play this game, and they're going to get it between 30 and 40 minutes. I don't think you can play it quicker than that, though. Like it does have a process to it that is naturally going to take that long, but there's not a lot of brain bending going on, but there's enough puzzle. Like if you like Tetris level puzzles, add a little bit more spice to it, and that's what you get out of Sanibel. So yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's a lot better than Sand Art.
yeah. Actually, I like Sand Art, but anyway,
that one needed seashells.
It did, right? You just need to be able to pour out your sand on the seashells. I don't know. Anyway, that is Sanibel by Avalon Hill / Hasbro. Next up on the podcast, we're talking about Stonespine Architects. This is a game about designing a dungeon with bad guys and traps and all kinds of stuff. This is designed by Jordy Aiden, and it's published by Thunderworks Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game that takes between 45 and 60 minutes. In this game, you're going to build a grid of cards in front of you, and the grid has it's a 4x4 grid. You're going to have each space is a different room. You'll get cards, and it's a drafting game. So you're going to take a card, place it down, pass the deck to the left, and then do that 4 times. And then you're going to go into a purchasing market phase where you can buy stuff. So when you place these cards down, you have to build in one row, which is the top row. And then once you finish that, then you go to the buying phase. Then you're going to do the second row, buying phase, third row, buying phase, fourth row, buying phase, we're finished. That's how the game progresses. So when you place a card, you want to be cognizant because you have this, I don't know what it's actually called, like a blueprint card, I think. And it is a blueprint card. It tells you, here's how your dungeon, if you want to score more points, here's how you can score more points. So if you put like a castle type of card in this square, or maybe you put a kobold in this one, or maybe you put like a victory point in this one, it's progressive scoring. So the more of those things that you meet, the more points that you get at the end of the game. And anyway, as you're placing these down, you also have like an entrance on this card, this blueprint, and an exit. And so you want to have cards when you play them, the rooms that you play, that have paths and doors that kind of go through this dungeon, because if they go back to the beginning and the end, you actually get points for them. So anyway, you're going to draft cards. You're going to play 4 of them. At the bottom of the card, it's going to give you gold. And at the end of the 4 turns, you go into a buy phase. Whoever has the most money gets to pick first. And what you're buying are like feature upgrades. So you might buy like a kobold, and you can place that token on a room that doesn't have a kobold to maybe meet your blueprint requirement, or to meet some kind of special goal or card that you've got that gives you more points. Because at the end, during the market phase, if you pass because you don't have enough money, or you pass because you just want to take one of these scoring cards first, it's because it's first come, first served, you will collect those cards, and then those will tell you stuff like maybe you got to have a bunch of traps in the middle area of your grid, or maybe on the outer edges of your dungeon, or something like that, right? So you will get those. I apologize. I'm very distracted because it is close to the 4th of July, and there's a bunch of fireworks in the background, and I didn't know what it was at first. I'm like, what is happening? Well, anyway, you get a scoring card, you move on to the second round, third round, all that stuff, and you finish your dungeon, and then you go through and do all the scoring that you have, and that's effectively the game. There is an expansion that was announced by this, but we're going to leave that out, obviously. It has some modules and such that you can add. And but let's talk about this one. We'll start with Brian. You just recently played this, right?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I actually thought it was quite good. Funny enough, I picked it up back in Gamma, and I was like, I'll get to it. It looks like it's really awesome. Let's check it out. Man, it's really fun. Have you all played it as 2 players? Is the question I have.
I played it a lot at every player count.
Okay. Yeah, the 2-player was the interesting one, because you had to
discard.
We chose not to do the discard, but not to play it hidden, because I'm so focused on my own dungeon that I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna play it down. I do actually. It was a really fun game. I was actually kind of surprised how much I enjoyed it. Each round went pretty quick. I like how whoever has the most gold goes, and then if you still have the most gold, you go again. The only thing I would say I kind of wish is I think there are only 4 tunnel tokens in the game, I believe. I kind of wish.
So like if you got rooms, if you get kind of screwed on the way that you build your dungeon and you don't have a clear path through your dungeon, you got to go to the market phase and buy these secret passages that you can put between cards to basically say these have a connector between them. You're right. There's only a handful of those, and it does, and they may not even come out. That's the crazy thing, because we actually ran
into that at 4, because you got to think about it. If we do it at 2 players, there's only 2 market panels, and the 2 market panels may not even have that shape on there. So we were like, it'd be kind of almost nice if you started the game with 1, but there were, say, 6 others that you could potentially get, and that would kind of offset some of the RNG. Because I had a couple times where I had 3 paths I just got stuck with that I literally could not get out of.
I don't know if that would be a good fix because it'd make it almost too easy. But what would be neat is if you can have, like, you start the game with a drafting where you draft between the players and you get 2 cards or something and you hold on to those. And at any point, instead of playing a card, you can discard it and then play one of your 2 cards that you got at the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that could be a good solution. I think it's really more so at a 2-player count because you only have 2 different market cards. So the chances of getting it is a lot less than, say, because if you do a 4-player, you got 4 panels. Chances are that thing's going to come out.
Right. And the other thing with that is in a lot of games, you have a deck of cards and it'll say for this player count, add these cards. For this player count, add these cards, right? Because a card might say 3+. And so you only include those if you're playing 3 or more players or whatever. The tokens in this game should almost have something like that. So that there's always there's more, because in a 2-player game, you're not putting as many tokens out on the selections. And so if they don't come out, they don't come out. But if you lowered the token count off to the side, it would have the same percentage, even though the percentage could still be 0. It would still be the same percentage of showing up in a 2-player game as a 5-player game.
Yeah, I think that is literally, if there was any issue I had was I'm tired. I would say more or less that's the only thing we ran into, and our scores were somewhere between 92 and 103 or something. So we were pretty close in the multiple games that we played.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I will say that in most, if not all, the games I've played, the scores have been really close. Not like everybody's within 2 points of each other, but it's been
within 10.
Yeah, like it's been really close to where if you had one other card or did something slightly different, you could have won instead.
Yeah, that was a question I was going to bring up because I was like, it was interesting because some games, that swing can be really wide, but this is really approachable. The other thing I do love is they're using a whole World of Ulos type of thing with all the role players. So it's like iconography feels comfy because I recognize all the stuff that they're using.
That is true. Like if you're familiar with the role player universe or whatever, all the icons and stuff like the stars and the gold icons and everything is very, it's very, it just memorable. Feels familiar.
Correct. I don't particularly like the design of the box, but that's just an aesthetics thing. The old version was Dungeon Designer. That's funny.
I think that's like a different language. James, what do you think about this one?
I like this one a lot. I first played it 2 years ago at Origins. It was a surprise play because I didn't have anything planned at that time, and a friend of mine had an extra ticket. So and we had a good time with it. And it's just, speaking of the role player universe, it's probably my favorite game of that universe, even above role player. It's just, I like the puzzle. I like the puzzliness, even though role players got puzzliness too with the dice, and you're trying to manipulate the dice. But this one I like a lot with you're trying to meet your objectives. And I like how you're sweating it out. You're like, man, I really want that objective, but I can't pass now to get it. Hopefully nobody else takes that. And that kind of, it's a good pressure. You're like, it makes the game a lot more fun because you might not get it. And you can, if you have the right group, you can jokingly yell at them about taking your objective that you wanted. But it's actually, I like a lot. I like the puzzle, trying to get, and where you can mitigate, even though sometimes it doesn't come out, like Brian said, the different icons that you need. You're like, well, I need a trap in the middle here, but I've already put down a card here that doesn't have a trap, but you can buy one later after the round. Right. So, I mean, you can always fix it 80% of the time.
Yeah, I was going to say potentially you can always fix it.
Potentially you can always fix it. You're like, okay. And I don't think I've ever had a game where I haven't finished the tunnel from the entrance to the exit. I don't know. But it's a really good game. I think they did it really well done. Again, the artwork's just the same artwork that you see in all the role player games. It's definitely better than Lockout for me. I don't know if you've all played that one.
Oh my gosh.
Lockup, that's it. Yeah, that one's
totally different games though.
Yeah. It was good, but it wasn't.
I think it's only comparable due to the world of Ulos.
Right, it's the world of it. Yeah. But yeah, I like this one a lot. I like the puzzliness of it, and I like the the drafting works in this one and all that. It's just overall good game.
I'm really excited that it has so many ways to score points. I mean, you're scoring points from there's a main objective that everybody has. Arguably, I wish there might have been 2 out there instead of just 1, but then people would like maybe focus on one. It would be easy to kind of get in on the second one because no one's going for it. Everyone's going after the same public objective. So I guess that's fine.
Right.
That's cool. You're scoring personal goals because you're trying to build your dungeon the way your blueprint card is. And then I like this idea that cartographers kind of did, right? Where cartographers has 4 scoring cards out, but each one only scores twice throughout the game, right? So like you're kind of planning ahead during turns when you know it's not going to score because you want to get a big score, like a payday when it comes out or when it's time for that season to score that card. In this game, you're getting an objective card at the end of like 25% through, 50% through, and then 75% through, but you don't get them until then. So you don't know what you're planning for, which is good and bad because it could be that James has a crap ton of traps on his board just because he's been picking these cards for other reasons. And then scoring cards comes out. That's like, you get points for having any, I don't know if this is really one, but like for all the blade traps that you get.
Yeah.
But no one else is picking blade traps. So there's no reason that anybody would take that card. So they're not going to, he doesn't have to skip ahead and maybe not spend all his money and go out first to grab it. So there is a little bit of luck in the way that the objectives come out and who they are for, like the audience that they're attracting. So there is that. I don't think it's big enough to be a problem. No. But if you want to get really nitpicky, that would be the one thing I can say, other than what Brian was saying, that there's not as many secret passages, but maybe that was by design.
I'm pretty sure. Now, what's really funny is I did one game where I was trying to collect all the green gelatinous cubes, because they're awesome. And Mel was doing like a few of them. And I'm like, and then the card came out, it was like, when you go through your path, how many gelatinous cubes do you go through? And I was like, well, obviously I'm taking this one because my whole dungeon looks like this.
And you can't hate that. You can't hate draft that away from you because it would take points away from you, but you're not.
I also know it's out there. I know the thing is out there, and I'm like, gold. I'm making sure I buy the stupid thing.
Well, you don't buy it. It's when you pass. And so like, you have money that you're buying all those tokens, and then when you pass, you lose all the gold and you pick that objective up. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, if no one else that you're playing with, especially in a 2-player game, if the other player is not picking gelatinous cubes, you have no threat of them taking that card. Yeah, I guess they could take it and then basically just negate that scoring card for both of you because they're not going to get one that gives them points, and you're not going to get points from it.
Question for everybody. Did anyone have any, like, the one thing that took me the longest is the very last scoring objective. Calculating all the tiles connected from the front to the end. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have them connected, if they're connected, then it's just double the number. But if it's not, then you're like, oh.
Then it's 1.
How much 3 and 5 and 6? And,
yeah.
That was only weird. It wasn't too bad, but everything else is so simple. That one took me a little bit, but I realized, if it's connected, it's just double that number.
Yeah. If you have a path, if you have
because it would be because everything has to connect. So it's just double the number.
Well, not necessarily. Well, yeah, it would be double the score of however many cards connect back to one entrance if it connects to both. Right. I think the only problem with it is if you have the secret passage token and you're placing it, it doesn't expand. It's not a big enough token to look like it connects 2 cards together because it sits between 2. And so that might mess your brain up as far as like, if you're looking at the lines that connects cards, you might be, man, I forgot about this stupid secret passage, Right. Well, obviously if it's the one that you need to connect your entire thing, you're not going to forget about it. But if you happen to buy extra ones just to screw other people over, you're just slapping them places, just to get extra points from other rooms being connected. Yeah, it gets kind of
right. Yeah. But I was pleasantly surprised. I had a really fun time playing the game, and it was pleasant. I enjoyed it. So there we go.
Good components, and I don't know. The artwork's great. Everything's great. I liked it so much that we went all in on the Kickstarter for the expansion.
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
The big box.
And one thing I like about it is this game is accessible at its current state. But if you're gamers like most of us, this expansion now adds the stuff that we need to make it more complex, make it more interesting, a little deeper thought process. You got 12 different guardians that are coming in, and then you pick one, and you got one of 3 of the 12 heroes that's going to go through your dungeon. And you're like, okay, how can I kill these guys off? But I also still got to meet my other objectives that I was trying to do originally. But now I've got this other stuff I can do. Yeah. It's really rad.
With the expansion, as they come through, do they mess up your dungeon on the way? Like, they take damage stuff based on the items they have to go through. So you lay your tower down, and then you flip your thing up and say, I can accept visitors now, and they come through, and then they take XP damage from everything in their thing, including the main bosses, the guardians that you have. Right. But then that is used to give you XP to build up your guardians. But then your guardians can now start adding minions into your dungeon. And it just keeps snowballing, which is super rad. Can they wreck your minions? Can they wreck your cubes? Can they wreck your nothing?
No, I think everything stays the same.
I don't think it's a tower defense game like that. No, where they can actually
it's just how much damage they're doing when they're going through. You're putting stuff that would normally hurt someone. So you're like, oh, do I give them a treasure chest? Or I'm like, screw that. I'm giving you another gelatinous cube and a trap. And each guardian has a different ability, and every one of the heroes has a different ability. So on one round, you may go, you know what? I'm going to top heavy do all my traps early, because maybe they ignore all the traps on the second row. So I got to hit them first because the second won't do anything. So it makes you think every game differently when you're playing, which I think is brilliant.
That's really cool.
Which I think that adds that extra level of complexity that I wanted in there. Even though I'm fine with the base game, this now adds that stuff. I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
it's gonna be rad.
I wanted to add more of a story, right? And so it sounds like it adds a little bit of that. That'll make it a little better, yeah.
And all the characters are the same ones that you would see in Role Player from the Minions expansion and stuff. And a lot of the bosses are from like that stuff. So it'll feel more familiar.
The one thing I will say is that Thunderworks Games has not dropped the ball on expansions at this point. I mean, every expansion that they've came out that I can remember has been a great addition. I will say I don't want to go super deep into a different game because this is about Stonespine Architects, but with Role Player, there might be too much expansion content. So if they just come up with this one expansion for this game, I think it'd be awesome. Anything past that, they almost need to just add more of the same and not just bloat the game too heavily. But we'll see. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. But before we jump on to the next game, let's give final thoughts and a rating. And start with you, James.
My final thoughts is a really good game. Like I said, it was probably the best of that universe. I would give it a 8 out of 10 for me. I mean, it's excellent game. It's not one I constantly would want to play, but it's really good. I played a bunch on BGA, so I mean that's mainly where I play it now, on BGA. So I don't remember the heartache of trying to score the tunnels because it does overlay. It for you. Yeah, you just like click, okay, it's done. Yeah. But I solid 8, really good game.
Brian,
I will go in its current state a 7.5 because I think when the expansion comes out, it either going to go to an 8.2 plus. So I'm going to give room because when the expansion comes out, it's going to make it such a phenomenal game.
Fair enough.
But I'll still play it because I love tile laying games and stuff, and it's just a fun game, man.
Oh yeah, I'm going to give this one an 8.5 because there is not a lot of games that I play that I'm like, oh my God, I just want to keep playing this over and over and over and over. And it's not because many games are bad. I don't mean that. What I mean is I'm always like, I'll play it a few times. And it's like, all right, let's jump on to the next game because there's so many games to play. But when I played this, I'm like, let's pause because I want to get a few plays in on this. And the player count is really cool because it almost doesn't matter because it's not multiplayer solitaire per se, but it kind of is because not a lot of people can really mess with you because as you're drafting cards, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to take this card because James needs it. No, you're not going to do that. That's not the type of game, but you will maybe do that with like the market phase on certain things with buying tokens, but typically you need the token anyway. So it's one of those things. So there's not a lot of like hate drafting, but there's enough to where people will do stuff that you're like, man, I needed that, And so it's not solitaire in that aspect. It does have enough interaction to make it great, but it 8.5 for me. George?
Yeah, this one, it was a disappointment to me because it is a good game, and I was disappointed that it was such a good game. Because I don't like D&D. I like playing D&D. I like playing it because it's social and you're telling stories and all that kind of thing. But then as a theme, like I can't stand it. Like it's
one of my fantasy in general.
It's one of my least favorite themes. If I'm doing fantasy, I don't want it to be D&D. Kobolds and green slime, and I don't care. Like get that out of my face. But the fact that it's a good game, I just wish it was any other theme.
Anamorphic campers go.
Oh, it could be making waffles. Remember that waffle game?
Yeah, waffle time.
Honestly, anything. But as a game, it's really quite good. So I'll give it a 7.
Kind of reminds me of, what is it, Dungeon Keeper? It was an old school video game, computer game. Well, anyway, no one. Deer in headlights. Anyway, that is Stonespine Architects by Thunderworks Games. And last up on this episode, we are talking about mysteries or something. Mouse detectives investigate 1938 New York to solve a crime conspiracy.
Yeah, and it's called Sudds and Malone.
There you go. Sudds and Malone. This is designed by Adam West. Publisher is Crosscut Games. It's 2 to 4 players, 60 to 90 minutes. And George is going to give us the rundown.
Yeah, this is a game that I played several times at the St. Paul Deaf Convention and had a really, really good time with it. This is a simple deduction game, although you don't actually have to do the deduction in order to get points and possibly win the game, which is kind of nice. Although you're much more likely to do better if you can. So in the game, you start off and there are 3, all the players are these detective mice, and the art is really, really cute. There are 3 moles, 3 frogs, and 3 rats, all of which are suspects. You shuffle these up and you get 4 of them and you put them face down. So out of that collection of 9, there's going to be 4 that are selected. And then there are also 3 bird cards. All the cards that you haven't put face down in those 4 slots as the actual suspects, or I guess culprits, the 4 culprits, then you shuffle them up and you put them face down on the board. And then you cover them up with these cards that have resources on them. There's telephones and notebooks and whiskey, because obviously that's what you need as a detective. And there are bullets as well. There might be one other thing that I'm forgetting, but you go around and you collect cash. Yeah. You collect these things and you use them in order to pay for cards that you have. You have a hand of 5 cards. You can get more. And they're cases. So you have this hand of cases, and the cases are they look like little files. And when you play a case, you're going to try to do an A, a B, and a C all at the same time. You can do all 3. If you can get all 3 ABC files done, then you've completed a case, and you get to get 3 hunch cards. The hunch cards will give you points for the various rats, moles, or frogs. They could be as high as +4, or they could be as low as -1. And at the end of the game, when it's revealed who the culprits are, then you multiply all your hunch cards based on however many of each kind of animal it was. Let's say you took frog cards. You're really hoping there's 2 frogs that are culprits, or 3 even, and then you're gonna rake in the points. Or you could be completely wrong and you've collected frogs, but really it's mostly rats and you get very little. As you play the game and you move around this board, I should say actually how you do this. The entire game is run by dice drafting. And so you have dice in your own color that you will always have access to, 1 each round. And then there are white, gray, and black dice. And you get to select 1 gray, 1 white, and 1 black out of the pool each round. And there are 6 things that you get to do with the dice, and you can increase their abilities by upgrading them. If you take a die with a 1 on it, then you're doing the office action, and the office lets you move up on the tracks of what these different abilities are. You get to do more things with that particular die. The second thing you can do is you can go on the calendar, and on the calendar it lets you get some you move your track along. There are 4 weeks to the game. You move along the week, and you collect usually cash or resources, or there are magnifying glasses. If you get one of those, you can look at one of the culprits. And now you have information that the rest of the table doesn't as to what that particular card is out of those 4. When you do the third action, which is investigate, then you move your pawn around on the main map and you collect the resources of everything you pass. Where you stop, you'll collect that resource, but then you'll also take the card that shows that resource on the back of it. You'll flip it over and cover one of the 4 culprits with a card that is something that gets in the way of investigating that particular culprit. So if that's one you've looked at already, you want to do that. You want to cover it up so everyone else doesn't get to see it. However, there's also another action that you can do called Flim Flam, where you get to remove those cards by paying money to do so, and then you get the rewards that are on them. There's also a catch-up mechanism in the game. Several of the cards that get flipped over and put on top of the culprits are things like a cat attack or something, and they're going to take points away from the leader if they're not cleared by Flim Flam. So that's a really interesting aspect to it. And then another thing that you can do is you can do the Moxie, which is you use a 6 for that, and you collect bullets, and then you roll the die again, and whatever you get, you have to do. So it's a bit of a gamble, but you get bullets. And the bullets are nice to have. They're limited in the game. There's only 6 of them in the game. And you can use the bullets to shoot the dice and change the number up or down. So that's the mitigation, which is really a fun, clever way to do that. The game is great. Honestly, I played it several times. I never won. I am absolute garbage at this game. I didn't care. I really enjoyed it.
I do like that it's competitive, right? So it's not co-op.
It is. It is not co-op. No, you're trying to score points, and you score points in several different ways. You score points by moving up on those tracks, by making yourself better at these abilities. You score points mostly by solving the cases of the cards that you're collecting the resources to pay for. But also, when you collect those cards and you get A, B, and C together, and you get those hunches, right? But also, when you do that, you get to move those cards down below your board, and they go in your file, and they are matchsticks, and you collect sets of matchsticks of different colors. They go up to 8, and you get like multiples of points for however many you get. And then if you get multiples of the same kind, you get points for that as well. So those matchsticks really come to a lot of points. And if you're doing that and you don't even care really about finding out who the 4 culprits are, you could win the game that way. Although I didn't every time I tried.
How's this? What do you think this plays, or how does it play with different player counts, like 2 players as opposed to more?
Yeah, I played it with 2, and I played it with a full complement of 4. I think it was the same game. Honestly, I think it was more fun at 4 because you had a lot more going on as far as things can change on the board, before it gets back to you, and maybe things get blocked off and people take the dice that you want, right? But at the same time, it really is great at 2 because it's very snappy. There's no downtime really at all. There's a little bit when it's 4 players, but not that much. The game plays fast. It's an hour game, and for a deduction game, obviously this isn't that heavy into the deduction, but I kind of like that part of it too. Yeah, it's a good game. I'm picking this one up. I would definitely recommend, and as a dice drafting mechanism, which I always have enjoyed, with the mitigation, with the kind of clever mitigation where you really have to find ways to get the bullets, and then you're thinking, do I want to do it? Do I just go ahead and do this action, or do I spend the bullet? The turn order is determined by who has the least bullets gets to be the first at the next round as well. And that can be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
It looks cool. I got more excited. Like, you talked about this game in the conversation before this podcast, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, here's a co-op. No offense. I was just like, oh, it's a co-op. But I started looking at it, and the fact that it has this dice drafting stuff and it's competitive, that actually drew me in a little bit more than at first glance, because you hear these deduction and mysteries and stuff. You just immediately assumed co-op, but being a competitive game and that you're actually getting points and stuff too is really cool.
Yeah. It's a tight, cool. Like, you're scrambling to get the right, pieces of resources to be able to buy your stuff and collect the cards. Oh, that's the other thing you can do. One of your dice values, you collect more cards. And there's a market that you can collect from, or you can draw off the deck. And if you take a lot of cards early on that require a lot of resources, you can really get stuck where you can't be playing a lot of your files, your A, B's, and C's. And some of them are very cheap, and they just give you an A. And there are other ones that are, they give you a B and a C, but they're a lot of stuff. But they give you more points as well. So that's a way to get points in the game. It ramps up nicely as the game goes on because you get more of the hunches. So that's going to be more and more points if you can figure out, who the culprits are, which I didn't mention. When you go around the board to collect the resources, you're collecting the resources and then you're covering up one of the culprits with the card where you land. But also there were those suspect cards that get put out underneath all those places. So you also, if you land on one of those, you get to take that card and look at it and keep it. And that's a bit of information you have. Okay, that's a frog maybe that I just picked up. And there's only 3 frogs out there. So I know there's not 3 frogs in the culprits, right? Because I've got one of them. It's and also those bird cards. If you get a bird card, then you get to if you pick that up out of the main area, then you get to look at one of the culprits if you pay the bird money. So it's interesting. It's really fun.
All right. Well, anything else, James or Brian, you want to add on to this before George gives us his final thoughts and rating?
Real quick, it is looked really fun. One thing is, once you said it was not co-op, I was like, ooh, hello.
Yeah.
Because there was another game called Winnie the Pooh Serious Detective that I thought was super cute and everything, but it's co-op. I was like, man, why is every game like this always co-op?
And it's not like replayable as far as I understand.
Yeah, it's not. I think
Winnie
it's
the Pooh one.
Each one's a scenario, and when you get through the game, it's a story driven. It's like a narrative driven. So this is a pretty interesting little game.
Yeah, and it's quick, and there's luck involved. Like if you don't look at the culprits enough, and you're just grabbing up all the frog cards, and then at the end, oh, there's no frogs there. Well, too bad.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly. It's I liked it.
Well, all right, give us your final rating and in final words.
I think I would give this one an 8. I just think it's a really solid, really fun game. I would like it if there was a bit more story to it, but mechanically, it's excellent.
Cool. All right. Well, that is Sudds and Malone by Crosscut Games. And before we wrap up this episode, I'm going to do one thing we don't really do. I'm going to ask another random question because we have time. Here we go. If Meeples came alive at night, which game's Meeples would be the most terrifying?
It's
like Indian in the cupboard.
Meeple specifically and not token or characters, correct?
Yeah, I feel like if you say miniatures, there's way different responses to this.
Dude, I'm just telling you, if Kingdom Death Monster comes to life, I'm moving. I'm just telling you right now.
I'd say Tiny Epic Zombies. Are they the ones with the weapons?
Tiny Epic. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. But they're the good guys.
But still, if they
Tiny Epic Mechs would be cool too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They got little machine guns and stuff. I don't know. I kept thinking of I don't remember what game it was. Maybe Tribes, Age of Tribes. I don't remember what it is, but the Meeples have spears is what I'm getting at. They're pointy, man. They're going to walk up to you and stab you. They're like Legos that move.
I think maybe even worse than that are Meeples that would bite, like little Meeple-sized things biting you. The earth animals abundance, any of those kind of all those animals would be terrifying to have running around your house.
To be fair, also some of the creatures in Clank catacombs, like layers and stuff, those things are gnarly. Like I don't want to have Medusa try to take me out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're talking about just any components, not just Meeples, like miniatures, Kingdom Death would be nuts, or like Nemesis, or anything from
Death May Die.
I don't remember the second edition, but at least the first edition of Mansions of Madness has tons of weird monster miniatures and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
I always look at Death May Die as one. Or hell, what is that one? Dinosaur World. I don't want dinosaurs alive.
True. But I mean, I guess they would come to life at the size they are.
How about 1,000 of those trying to chew your shoes off? That'd be weird.
They're like throwing little spears and stuff at you.
Actually, that's a point. Would they come to life at the scale that they are created at?
Yeah,
or,
of course.
Because any one of them would be like, give me my Roomba. I'm going to eat all of these stupid little things.
It's the Great Tornado.
It's vacuum.
Yeah,
I think my personal horror story would be something like Honey Buzz. Just because bees. Because bees. Yeah.
And actually, that's kind of funny because they would be, I don't remember Honey Buzz like the actual size, but they're about bee size anyway.
Yeah, they're about bee size.
Yeah.
I
want to eat those tokens. I don't know what you're talking about. The squishy ones. Because on Fall Flavors, all the other things are squishy too. I'm like, oh God, the worst thing to show a kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up. We want to thank you for tuning into episode 166 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on July 2nd, 2026. Please send us questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms and check out the video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim, Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Brian Jennette.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.